G'day all, Dadovitchnic here, another update on the treehouse, and here we go. Yes, that rather imposing edifice is my new base. W key, Frank, W key. Yes, forward. As you will see, the server at the moment is laggy as hell, as we do the conga backwards and forwards going towards the treehouse. No, it's not decided not to do it now. Nice. Okay, now last time I did this I smashed into the step. That's what I mean, just like that. Yes. A little bit further. Okay. The tree farm's still doing alright. Been getting lots of leaves off that. And that'll do, fellas. Off we get. Keep. Get out of the way. Rightio. Alright, as we can see, tree farm still going. Inside still looks the same. Ooh, looks like some pumpkins growing down there. Melons, I mean. There we go. Somebody said these harvest quicker with swords. I'm not sure. Try an axe. No, axe is heaps smart. Right, that's nice. That and where are we? Those. So we go here. 54. Don't think I've quite got enough yet. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Well, I've started. I've got the top of the tree sort of done. I've still got a little bit of height to go, because I wanted to that centerpiece to stick out a little bit further. And here we go. As you can see, I am going to infill all this, not with leaves. I think I'm going to use glass, so you won't be able to see it from the bottom anyway, but it'll keep the rain out of here. Now, what we're looking at here is my pumpkin and melon farm. Now, I saw the basic concept for these farms done on a YouTube tutorial by a bloke called Beastlyminetutors. His basically operated by 2 levers. The layout was exactly the same as this, probably not quite as wide as this, and this half of it is going to be melon farm, and this part obviously is pumpkin farm. You can see the pumpkins have already grown there. But yeah, it's basically seedlings go in here. I'll come back and bone meal these so they start producing straight away. Great. Yes, F9, thank you. Right. I think I preferred it when the inventory key was I and not E, because I keep hitting it when I want to move. It's very annoying. Okay, looks like I might have just enough melon seeds here. Beauty. That means I will be able to get rid of the just jump down here. As you can see, the drops from the farm will be carried into this trench here, into this channel, which continues down here, and then continues along to here, and the hole under here is open now, and that will drop down through the mob trap using the same tube the mob trap does. Now I intend to do the same sort of thing for cactus and sugarcane over there. Now, as I said, Beastlyminetutor basically used two levers and just operated them when he wanted. So he would hit the first lever, which raises pistons underneath the pumpkins. If you want to have a look at his video, you can. I'll put a link in the description. Basically, the first lever raises the pumpkins, so pops all those off, and the piston is directly underneath a block of dirt underneath the pumpkin, so it seals the pumpkin plants under the glass so they don't get knocked off. The second one opens, retracts those pistons and releases the water. Release the hose! Anyway, that water then washes the pumpkins down into the drain there, and from there obviously all the way down to there, which will take some time. Now I may at some future stage put ice in there. I'll have to check underneath because I've got jack-o'-lanterns underneath there, as you can see, evenly spaced all the way around. So if the ice is too close to them, yes, it will melt and will destroy a whole lot of stuff that I really don't want destroyed. Anyway, the one thing I didn't like about Beastlyminetutor's system is that it was not automated. I don't want to come up here and flip levers. I want to push a button down there and have everything happen. Now, it took a while, and I had a lot of very, very complicated systems, but this is what I came up with, and it is very, very simple. Okay, so way down there will be a button which will come up a torch line and will eventually hit this spot here. For the moment I've got a button on this block to simulate that fact. This particular device here is an anti-spam button, anti-button spam piece of kit. Basically, once this is started, this piston will retract. Let's try that again, shall we? Yes, keep popping out. The server keeps dropping out, which is very, very annoying when you're trying to record. Okay, this is the anti-spam piston, which you'll see in operation. Basically, once it starts, this retracts, and you can push that button all you like, nothing will happen. Now, the idea for that is it just stops the system from being overused, I suppose. Here is a simple dispenser, which I've just got filled with zombie flesh on this side. I've just got some wooden blocks on the melon side at this time, but I will change that out. Now obviously once this dispenser is activated, drops a piece of rotten flesh onto this pressure plate, wooden one, which activates it. Now, as you'd be aware from this system, when we want to start it, the first thing we want to do is have the pumpkins come up, and then after a delay we want the pistons to raise, letting the water out. Because if they both happen at the same time, there's a damn good chance that the water will wash all the pumpkin plants away and we'll have to start from scratch. So, first thing we want to happen is the dirt block to raise. We then want a delay, and then the water to run out and push all the pumpkins down into the trench. Now the hard thing about that is we then want a second pulse to close the water off, and then after a delay lower the blocks out, so that once again we don't wash any of the plants out. Now I have done just a little bit of testing, but I haven't actually run it on this side as yet. The reason I went with the dispenser timer is because it takes a bit of time for all this stuff to get down to there, so I just figured you either went with something like this, or you used an absolute crap ton of repeaters, or something else that I don't really know of. If you've got a better idea, I'm welcome to hear it. But basically this will turn this system on for 5 minutes until that item despawns. That's why you just use something you can afford to lose. Anyway, when that first occurs, you will notice here we have two pulse limiters, both of which are off at the moment. So the first pulse will turn this off and then send a pulse through here. Now while this is on, and it will stay on, when it lands on, this will turn on and this will turn off. While this is on, it will turn this torch off, which retracts the block there, thereby creating the anti-spam mechanism. The second pulse travels through this pulse limiter and will send a single pulse this away. And you'll notice that goes to two places. First with only a short delay, and the second with a longer delay. Now the reason for that delay is the single pulse is does not last long enough with one of these to activate the NOR latch. So we have two NOR latches. One controls the pistons up the top, and the other one controls the pistons down the bottom. So that basically first pulse triggers the NOR latch, which will keep the pistons. Oh, here we go again. Okay, back again. We'll see how long the server stays up this time. Just got some real lag issues at the moment. Probably the guy who runs the server is doing something else on it, which is taking up a bit of memory and stuff. Anyway, that's life. Okay, so what we have here is 1 and 2 NOR latches. They're a very simple type 1, which you can check out on some of Etho's creations. Basically it's a very short one. The only other one that I know about is one that is takes up a lot more ground space, which is why I went with these ones. These ones are a bit temperamental, but as long as you remember to put this piece of redstone in last, generally you have no problems. Anyway, so first pulse turns this one on, which turns that line on, and then after the delay, this NOR latch is activated, turning that line on. So obviously we have the line inverted up the top there because of the vertical line going up, which further delays the pistons, which is quite rather handy. So pistons raise, bottom pistons raise up, knocking the watermelons off and sealing the pumpkin plants. Then pistons retract, opening the water channels and hopefully washing all the pumpkins down without destroying the pumpkin plants. Right, at the end of 5 minutes, this thing despawns, turning this back on, which then pulses this line. And that, funnily enough, is the reset line for both the NOR latches. So first one, only a small delay, enough for the pulse to lengthen long enough to actually turn the NOR latch off. And the second one goes through a delay of 8 timers, 9 including that one, to turn this one off afterwards. So the water turns off and the dirt stays up until the water disappears, and then the dirt lowers. That's it in theory. I've tested the actual system, but I've never actually tested the entire thing operating. So it's going to be very interesting. Here we are for the very first test. Let's see how these pumpkin plants are going. Yeah, not too bad. I might just leave those. I plan to be using bread for most of my things, but I'm going to make these farms just for something to do and to say I've got them. Righto. Let's go and test it, shall we? First of all. Hello. Either we've dropped out again, or we've got a problem. Or it's just a big lag spike. So, how you doing? How's everyone going? That would explain it. Plonk. And it seems to be working. Let's check it all out. As we can see, we have a large number of pumpkins, Now this should create at least a stack of pumpkins. Okay, that seemed to work rather quickly actually. In my testing I found that the pumpkins up the very end seem to take an awful long time to come down, which is why I went for that 5-minute timer. But yeah, that didn't seem to take that long, so here we go. Right, so we've ended up with 67 pumpkins. That's pretty good. Okay, now let's test the other one. All we've got to do is remove that piece of rotten flesh like so. Let's go back up. And there we go. Awesome. No, I'm really happy with that. That is just the way I worked it out. Although it did take a, like I said, once I actually got this side going, I was working on the melon side, and before I put the plants in I ran some testing on that and sort of worked out all the bugs from that. One of them was that I actually had to raise the pistons up one because there was a drama whereby when they were lower, the actual water did not come far enough out to wash the pumpkins down. So that was a problem I needed to fix, and I did that. Then once I raised that, it was long enough, but then of course it would there was a possibility that it could wash the pumpkins over to this point here and just leave them there. So I put in this lot of blocks here to prevent that, and that seems to have worked nicely. Oh, another pumpkin already. Awesome. Righto, so anyway, as we can see, the pumpkin farm works, and I have no doubt that since I've done the settings the same way with the melon farm, it will work too. Now this does take some resources, I'm not going to lie to you. There's probably about a good stack and a bit of repeaters throughout this whole thing, probably a few stacks of redstone, and not that many torches actually. One dispenser, one piston here, and of course an awful lot of pistons underneath. Basically every one of these blocks that raises here has a piston underneath it. So anyway, that is the automatic pumpkin and melon farm. So now all I really have to do is put in the rows, the torch lines, vertical torch lines I should say, which will go in right under here. So basically I'll build this out to here, and there'll be 2 torch lines coming up. I may have to do something a little bit fancy there to make it work, considering there will be a water stream coming across the top here. But yeah, we'll nut that out when the time comes. Now I've put glass on this and tried to keep it in, so when you look up you'll just see the sky. We'll just have to see how that works out. Anyway, I'm very happy with that. Now I've got to try and work out how the hell to do my cactus and sugarcane farms. Now they're going to be over here, and they are not going to be automatic. So, well, they're going to be semi-automatic, so I will have to push a button to operate them. They're not just going to continually dump down like some cactus farms do. So it'll probably run a little bit similarly to the stackable unit that I've got in my other base at spawn. And I'm thinking, just looking at this, there's a good possibility I could get one of those towers to go straight up here. Of course that does waste an awful lot of room back there, but hey, I've got it to waste, so why not? Anyway, so that's where I'm at the moment. I'd like to wish my nephew another happy birthday. He knows who he is, and hopefully he'll be watching this sometime, so he knows roughly when this is recorded now. And I hope you enjoy your cake. Righto, well, without further ado, I'll bid you farewell. This is Dadovitchnic saying cheers, beers, and good luck. And if you're underage, no beers. Bye.